Siobhan, the CRC was launched in April. Was there an initial rush to comply?
I think there was a big consciousness to get ready to comply. However, organisations have found it quite difficult internally in getting the data together. So it's not so much a lack of compliance, it's probably more the fact that organisations are realising internal stakeholders, what your organisation looks like, and physically entering in the information takes a lot longer than they initially anticipated. Now, EDF Energy has been, we started getting ready very early for the CRC, and a lot of the data we were already had at hand because we have our climate commitments. So it's very similar reporting for us. Probably several hundred organisations have successfully registered to date. We know there's many more that are in the process of registering, but it looks like perhaps a significant amount more haven't quite started the registration process. One of the indications of that is the information that's being published on the Environment Agency website, and then also the fact that they've delayed the disaggregation deadline for an extra month, so now it's the 31st of July. And it's something we'd really encourage organisations to take advantage of as well.
So how do your customers feel about it at the moment, and have their feelings changed?
Yeah, I think organisations are beginning to realise it's a bit more complex than at first they thought. Now, it's not because it's a very difficult thing to do. It's just a lot of things to do in a short period of time, which is why we spent a lot of time trying to speak to customers to get them ready. So we had half-day workshops called CRC Energy, which was a seminar on getting organisations ready for the CRC. Around 800 customers attended that.
What lessons do you feel that they've learned from the experience so far?
Well, I think organisations have realised the data gathering is quite a big job. It's not difficult, it's just quite a big job to do, and it's something that should be ongoing. Some organisations have realised they're responsible for things that perhaps they didn't realise beforehand, which has been a surprise to them. And it's also helped them look at actually what they're spending on energy in different areas, which will help towards their strategy in CRC. Other organisations have realised actually they need some help externally, and we emphasise a lot with these organisations, particularly complex ones. EDF Energy is a very complex organisation when you look at what is captured for the CRC. We've been very fortunate that we have very strong stakeholder involvement from the board, and we've also been through a lot of the requirements of the scheme through our own climate commitments. So we've got a lot of expertise to offer our customers, and we encourage customers to work with their energy suppliers, particularly when it comes to the data reporting elements. So things like the free CRC tool that we have, which will help organisations report on their emissions. Also, we have another online monitoring and targeting tool, which will help customers track their emissions and consumption on a daily basis.
And presumably, knowing more about how their business works and what energy they're using is actually useful for them throughout other parts of their business as well as just for the CRC.
Oh, absolutely. It helps you forecast your energy prices, helps you forecast what you will need to buy in the scheme in terms of carbon allowances, and it helps you keep on track of a strategy that you might have internally, whether that's based on reducing costs or reducing emissions or both. It's really important to understand what you're consuming, to understand what you're spending.
And investing in the resources and the systems that get you that information at the moment presumably will also put you in a good position for meeting future requirements of the CRC when they develop.
Absolutely. So the scheme started in April 2010, and let's not forget that although the registration period is only April to September, really the beginning of compliance and reporting and monitoring your emissions started in April 2010. So an ongoing look at what sites are consuming what kind of fuels is really important. So systems, processes and ownership of that is crucial to being compliant in the CRC.
Now they've gone through the initial compliance, what should firms be thinking about to maintain momentum for the next year, and how can they keep interest internally?
Well, it's absolutely crucial that they keep some momentum. The registration process is only just the beginning. There are several things organisations need to be aware of and comply with over the next coming months, and in fact decades. First of all being organisations post-September really need to be thinking about, do they want to install AMR and receive an early action metric? If they do, they should be doing that well before March 2011, so time is ticking. And what they will benefit from that is the amount of emissions that will be covered by AMR during that period. Organisations then need to really think about their footprint report, which will cover April 2010 to March 2011, as well as their first annual report. And in April 2011, they will need to be thinking about purchasing their allowances as a forecast for 2011-2012. So it's really an ongoing work, and it's not something that you do once a year. You should be maintaining records as organisations go along.
And is EDF Energy providing any services that can help customers to meet these requirements?
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking at forthcoming legislation, and we're looking at what's here and now. I think what's really critical is looking at what helps the business case and the investment case. So we have lots of products on the shelf today to help organisations, such as smart metering, AMR, Energy, CRC Bureau package, which will help organisations collate their data and report. And we also have a very strong energy services team that will go in and do audits and specially tailor an energy efficiency programme for that organisation. But there's also many things that we will do, and we encourage customers to work with us, which are free. So we have a CRC reporting tool online, free for all customers. And we also do energy efficiency awareness days as well. So really looking at employee engagement will really help back up any policies or schemes that you implement into your organisation.